dude, from that moment when he said, "We'll come get you," it changed my life. It changed my life. Now, here's the thing. The day that her and her family were gonna come pick me up, they were gonna come pick me up on a Saturday, right? The night before that, I was packing my bags at Carmike's house, the last family that took me in.
Mhm.
And his mom came into the house about 1 o'clock in the morning. This was a crazy home. It was a crazy family. Love them to death, but they were crazy. And she had blood coming down her arm. Her and her ex-husband just got into a major fight, and she apparently left her car at his house. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, she asked me and Carmike to go pick it up. Well, I get to the house and there's cop cars all around. The ex-husband's in the front yard. I see the car, so I go get in it. I start it and I take off. Well, I have cop cars flying behind me now. I didn't realize that that wasn't her car, that was his.
Oh, no.
So I'm supposed to be leaving in like 7 hours to go to my new home, and I'm about to get arrested for grand theft auto, dude. Yeah, yeah.
Woo.
So I call Brooke. It's 2:30 in the morning by this time. I call Brooke on the phone and I said, "Hey, look, tell your family I'm so sorry." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Listen to me. Tell your family I'm so sorry. I'm about to get arrested for stealing a car." "What do you mean you're stealing a car?" I'm like, "Listen, okay, it's not what it sounds like, but it is." And so she hangs up. She's mad, dude. She's so mad. And I literally am flying down the interstate and I'm just gonna try to outrun them because I don't know what else to do. I'm just a teenage kid being a punk. And I turn down this dirt road, and all of a sudden, I don't see any lights. They're all gone. And so I get out, I stop the car because I think they're trying to trap me. I
Yeah.
figured they were gonna be on this dirt road a mile ahead of me or something. And I get out and I just listen and I don't hear anything and I don't see anything. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I just drive super slow on this dirt road back to Carmike's house, and I get there, and the cops are in the yard, and anyways, what I didn't know was Carmike's uncle, long well, they're related, but they're not super close. His uncle works for the police department, and, he knew that I was the one in the car and what had happened, so he told the police to back off because they were scared I was gonna wreck,
Yeah.
and so they didn't arrest me. I had to call Brooke back and let her know, like,
Woo.
"Hey,
That was
I'm not
good.
going to jail." Um but her family picked me up that next morning, and, long story short, I asked her dad one day because they had 3 they had 3 daughters, and you don't just let some punk teenage kid from Pine Bluff, Arkansas move into your home,
Yeah.
it just don't happen, and I asked him, I said now Eric wasn't in church, he'd been out of church for almost 10 years at this point, and I asked who's now my father-in-law, I asked him, I said, "Eric," I said, "How did you know I was homeless?" And he leaned up against his old Dodge truck and he looked at me. He said, "You wouldn't believe it if I told it to you." And I said, "No, I would." He's like, "I had a dream. I had a dream that whoever my daughter was talking to was homeless, and I knew it wasn't wrong."
Wow.
And I was just like, "Okay." I said, "I'll take your word for it." And
That's
there's so much
crazy.
crazy. There's so much. Here's the thing. In my book, there's so much crazier, crazier things to the story than I have time for. But throughout this, you see God working. You see God working.